We're rolling. All right. So this is the NFL divisional round reaction. We actually had one recorded already. Due to
RIP.
the way due to the way the quality that the way we recorded it, and we should have. It's more of a lesson learned type situation. But yeah, the file just wasn't cooperating. It wasn't being recognized on any on the phone. On the only time I could see it is on my phone. It wasn't working on any of the platforms I was trying to upload to. It was being very difficult. So we took a fat L, and here we are. I got lucky schedule wise with work, and I so happen to get free time to now actually get the reaction video in. It's a couple days later than we intended, but here we are, episode 13 of season 4, and we're going to start this off with Cincinnati and Tennessee's game. Cincinnati
No,
showed
we
up.
gotta start with Bills. We gotta
We got to
start with
start with the
Bills.
Bills. All right, Bills Sunday. We're going to go with Sunday and work our way back to Saturday. Sunday, Kansas City, Buffalo. That game, best playoff game of the postseason as we speak. It
By
was
far.
it was the divisional. It was the championship game that everyone wanted, but due to how the seeding fell for this year for the Chiefs and the Bucks, I mean Chiefs and Bucks, Chiefs and Buffalo. Josh Allen had to face the best team right off the bat. Not right off the bat, but like first divisional round. No one wanted it. Everyone wanted them to face each other in the AFC Championship. The way the cards fell, the NFL kind of like just the way it was laid out, how they played out throughout the season. Um, if the Bills would have probably won a couple more, they probably wouldn't have been in that situation. It would have been a lot different
Yeah.
matchup. But yeah, Bills kind of picked it up a little late, and that's how they ended up facing the Chiefs at the end. Um, Bills had it in the bag. You can't predict
Just had to
the
call heads.
team. You can't predict the team going down 13 seconds. No, there's only a couple players that have pulled like crazy winning drives like that off or tying game drives off. And like Brady is one of them. And like there's only a handful. Like you can't sit there and be like, as a normal football fan, be like, my team has 13 seconds. They're gonna tie it. No, everyone looked at those 13 seconds. Every Chiefs fan was dead silent until they got that second first down. They got that second first down, and like they were going nuts. They were going nuts.
Yeah.
They knew they they knew what the outcome was about to be. They knew they were going to tie it. They knew they were taking it to OT once they got that second first down. It was a long field goal, but it was short enough distance to get the job done, which is pretty incredible by the kicker to do that in the weather conditions that they were in. Because I can tell you right now, out here in the Kansas, Missouri side of the world, the weather is fucking awful right now. It sucks.
Not the best. Not the best.
Not the best. Basically, Mahomes didn't necessarily outplay the Bills. He just that offense. There's no holding it back, and it
Yeah,
goes
when
to
you got
show that if you let Mahomes scramble, your chances of winning the game are very slim.
yeah, I mean, it takes an all-around defense. What Bills have, it's just the front. They just couldn't get to Mahomes when he did scramble. I mean, Patrick balled out. They both did. I mean, both awesome teams. I think everyone wanted to see this to be the AFC Championship. But at the end of the day, I mean, due to seeding, kind of just how the cards fell. But this was the greatest game in the postseason by far. Hopefully, it's
Yeah,
not the last one we see. But I mean, literally, the Bills lost by the coin toss by not
the
calling
coin
heads.
toss. I mean, you can't sit there and be like, should have called tails, should have called heads. It's a 50-50
Yeah,
toss.
it's that 50-50. I do 100% believe if Bills had the ball before Kansas City, we'd be seeing
Whoever
Buffalo
got the
go.
ball, whoever
Yeah,
got the both teams knew this. Josh Allen knew, and so that both offenses knew. If we get the ball,
100%.
we're ending it,
Yeah,
and they
and I
ended
mean,
it.
This game was,
both defenses were done. Gas.
yeah,
AC knew they actually stood less of a chance because they were already down their number one guy in the secondary.
yeah.
So
And Gabriel Davis
they knew
ran
Josh Allen
all
was
over
gonna
the
be
Chiefs.
like, they're gonna be like, Sanders, go, Davis, go, freaking everyone go. He was gonna, and then if they weren't getting open, Allen was just gonna be like, all right, on my feet I go.
Say
One foot in
less.
front of the other. He's gonna jump over you. He's gonna truck you. He's gonna juke the shit out of you, which he did to the Chiefs the whole game. Oh my god, they were doing designed runs with
Yeah,
Josh
I mean, and
Allen.
that's what
Like
Sean
that
McDermott
dude,
did for Josh Allen. Like,
he
I mean, that's
it's just so unfortunate because everyone knew whoever came out of this game is going to, like, more than likely. I'm not saying
yeah,
they're going. More than likely, the Bengals, yes, you are the underdog. Yes, you have a really good quarterback that has the potential to take the other team, but the team you are facing is unstoppable offensively. Didn't matter who came out of this game. The preparation is, I'm facing offensive weapons across the board, i.e., the quarterback. If you're not holding the quarterback back, and which neither team did, that's why the game ended the way it did.
yeah.
Each team should, and Buffalo, no offense to them, but you're not the number one defense. I don't give a fuck what the paper says. You're the number one secondary. You are not the number one defense because that secondary has made y'all defense look a lot better than what it was. Your front seven did nothing to Patrick Mahomes.
I agree to an extent. I mean,
They got to
I
him
think,
twice. That's it.
I think when you're going against, I mean, it's gonna be whoever gets first. You know what I mean? So you got two
But I
high
mean,
scoring offenses. You got Patty Mahomes, Travis Kelsey, Tyreek Hill, Edwards-Helaire. I mean, even Garrett
I can
Pringle has
speak
done.
from experience. If you can get to Mahomes a lot, well, this is for any quarterback. If you can get to any team's quarterback a lot, you are more than likely going to hold them below 30 points.
Oh yeah, if you put pressure on the QB and
Now, what
have
you're
him
not going to
hurry,
do, what teams are not going to do with the Chiefs or the Bills in the upcoming future is hold them below 20 points. It's not going to happen.
right?
It's not
No,
going to
it's
happen.
gonna be tough.
They are going to put 21 plus on you every game.
It's tough, man. I love Josh Allen. Patrick Mahomes is great. You know, everyone knows that.
The secret
It's
sauce to beating the Chiefs is outscoring them.
Yeah, and Buffalo almost did. I mean, Gabriel
They
Davis
really
had
this
a
if it wasn't for OT, let's say there was X amount of time left in the fourth quarter, like what the Chiefs were given. If everyone said it when the Bills scored, they said any type of clock left in the fourth quarter is giving them a chance.
yep, and they
It
gave
doesn't
him
matter
13 seconds.
if they started with good field position, bad field position, any type of clock. If you're allowing them to run a play before the game is over, you are risking that they're going to score.
Yeah, and that's what's so
And I think
crazy.
that's going to haunt them, but you can't sit there and be like, I gave that team 13 seconds. That's my fault. No, not really. Not really.
No,
If
I
you
mean
would have
you
gave them
gave them
if you would have gave them 30 plus, a lot of the fans would have been like, "Yo, you really gave them a solid chance."
right.
But as a fan in the stadium with 13 seconds on the clock, you're probably walking away.
Yeah, 13 seconds, man. It was just crazy. I
Postseason,
mean,
maybe not, but like if that was a regular season game, there's 13 seconds. How much effort would the Chiefs would have put in? We don't know. But
well, I mean,
for them,
obviously it's postseason, so Chiefs are going to
yeah,
do everything they can to,
yeah.
I mean, to get
They're
points on the
laying it
board.
down.
I mean,
They're laying it
yeah,
down.
like
Hey,
literally
they're
anything out
putting
of
out
that
there like,
playbook
hey
that,
man, you
yeah,
might lose your ankles on this one, or you might blow your knee out trying to get this. Like they put a
yeah.
little bit more on the line in this situation, but basically the Chiefs are the team to beat. Bengals are not to be slept on. I think their defense needs to get a little bit more credit. I think it's because they have so many young guys. But
The Bengals,
their front,
you
you
can't doubt
can't
the underdog. You
you
can't doubt
can't
them.
doubt them. They have a lot of young guys across every part of their team. Their quarterback is probably he's actually not even the youngest. They actually have guys younger. He's the second year in the league. They got a lot of first year guys, and no one really knows their talent because they haven't been around not even 5 years. So it's not like
Right.
Mahomes been around a decent amount of time, so everyone has an idea like, oh, we expect him at this point to
Yeah.
make it all the
And
way. The
it's
expectations for the Chiefs is, hey man, y'all got it in the bag. Like y'all need to just finish.
That's the key word right there. Finish. How is the Chiefs going to finish this next game? Bengals beat them. Yeah, it was in Cincinnati, but instead of talking, I mean, we're going to talk about the future stuff, future
Yeah.
games
Now
this
with this
weekend.
game, the Chiefs should not take that as a W because they
No,
were
I disagree. They should take it as a W because it just
they
shows the perseverance
four
that they
quarters
had to
in
finish the
four
game.
quarters in the 4 quarter game they lost.
Debatable. I mean, that 13 seconds on the clock just showed the Chiefs are
Now
not willing to go home.
what is getting everyone up in an uproar about this game is now people are starting to feel the effects of the overtime rule
Hmm.
and everyone realizing Tutty ends it could be 2 plays.
Yeah.
And everyone knew, maybe, just maybe, the other team should get a possession.
Well, so I mean, like
Field
college.
goal, as soon as there's no field goal option. Each team gets a possession. If the other team scores, obviously, once the other team doesn't score, the game's over. Don't do no time limit. Just possession. Whoever scores a touchdown first, the game ends.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with this overtime
But you
rule.
got to
I
give
mean,
the other team the opportunity to come out on offense because it's just
but
weird to just be
people,
like, send the team out there on offense. I mean, obviously, yeah, you know what's at stake. So, hey, we're getting the touchdown. We know the game ends as soon as we do it.
yeah, I mean, the thing is, this rule doesn't really get talked about unless a game like this happens. So with a
Yeah,
game like this
when you have
happening,
two teams that you wish would move on and you can't, you have to have one.
so I mean, this rule only comes up around this game. Now, the thing is,
See,
I've heard a lot of people say about like that's why defenses win games. That's where that saying comes from. One
and
hundred
I think
percent.
that's
I
why
mean,
you have people that are entertained by the college environment more
oh, the game
because,
never ends, man. Some days.
well, the college environment, as in, you can, they get the matchup again, like Georgia and Alabama. They got their matchup again. They got both put in the
Yeah.
top four when they could have easily took Georgia out of the top four, but didn't. That this is an example. You don't get to be like, hey, you know what? Y'all deserve another championship game. That's
Yeah.
not the NFL though. The NFL operates differently. But
No, and I mean this game ended on a coin toss. Everybody in this game balled out. There's not one bad thing to say about this game whatsoever, besides maybe the Buffalo's defensive front, Kansas City secondary. There is so
now
much
I
weakness in
think
Kansas.
there's no thinking about it. Buffalo knows now that their offseason has officially begun. In this upcoming draft in offseason, whether you acquire a better front through trading with players that are already in the league or draft a better front, but or they need to move some guys to a different position possibly, but they need to address the fact that their front really needs needs improvement. What's crazy is like everyone has said this about the Chiefs as well for quite a while, and the Chiefs here added a piece, kind of, in a way. They brought in a kind of
Yeah.
more and more of a pass rush, and it looks like Buffalo needs
They brought
more.
in Ingram. That's not
Yeah,
really I mean, Ingram's balled out, but I mean, I think on both sides, yeah, Buffalo's defensive front. I mean, there's free agents that's going on this offseason. But with
Mhm.
Kansas City needs to address the secondary now while they're in the postseason. Figure out what they can do against the Bengals because the way the Bengals played against the Kansas City Chiefs the last time, Jamar Chase ran all over Chiefs secondary. That's how they won the game.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's gonna be an interesting game coming up. But with this game, I mean, I'll wrap this up. There's nothing bad to say. This these
No, it's
two
entertaining.
these two guys, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, are gonna have a rivalry for quite a long time. Since I mean, I don't see Buffalo getting rid of Josh Allen. Patrick Mahomes already signed that deal. Like,
So here's the thing: is I don't know if Buffalo is gonna retain a lot of that offense now because that's like their third year with for some of those guys there. Um, Cole Beasley's old. Manuel Sanders is old. Sanders was only on a 1 year deal, I believe. Beasley was on his last year, I believe. Um, Beasley, before the season got this far, is catching a lot of heat, a lot of criticism. I think, dude, there's a possibility that a couple of these guys might hang it up.
and I mean, that's something that I truly believe Sean McDermott will overcome the head coach of Buffalo. I love
Now, who they
Buffalo
are going
changes.
to retain after the game, Gabriel Davis. That guy.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was just because they were so heavily focused on Diggs, but either way, the dude put up 200 yards,
Gabriel Davis was definitely the key wide receiver in this game.
four
Um,
touchdowns, postseason record. Like, obviously, you got to pay the guy something.
I mean, we'll see during the off season, man. I mean,
You
this.
bring that guy back, but now everyone's on notice. That guy. There's also
Yeah,
going to be other people putting their hand in the pot for that one. So I don't know. There's going to be a lot of off-season moves with a lot of these teams. Green Bay is going to be like one of them that's going to probably blow a lot of minds here in the near future. But let's move on to the Tampa and Rams game.
oh yeah. So I just want to start this off. Tyler knows my feeling towards it. Just announced this now. To me, I think this is a very controversial game. Reason being is this game just seems so damn fishy. And why I say that is, I mean, everybody knows this. I mean, TB12 never had an unsportsmanlike, never had anything along those lines called on him in all his years in the NFL. Bleeding from his mouth, don't call that. Then you got the fourth down
The fourth
hit from
down
Eric
dead play
Weddle.
call, man. That
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 was
doesn't sit well with anybody.
no, and I mean, if you listen back and you watch it again, the whistle doesn't blow till after he's hit. So,
They reviewed it for so long, they pulled that out of their ass.
yeah, and there's the
No one was
fumbles and
expecting them to
everything.
be like, "That's a dead play." Like no one was like, the ball barely." If they
Yeah, for
want to
the
go, if you
NFL,
want to go like him hitting and the ball hitting and making the call that way, just goes to show you messed up the call and you don't want to make
yeah.
yourself look bad.
Well, I mean, the officials already messed up the call with the Bengals and Raiders, with that controversy. But what's weird enough is that nobody's really talking about the Rams and Buccaneers. Yeah, everyone kind of forgets it. We had the press
It's the
conference with Tom
way
Brady.
it's the way they walked away from it.
Yeah,
Tom Tom hit the press with, "Hey, like you win some, you lose some." Like he kind of just was like, "I've been doing this for so long that I've accomplished more." Like dude basically was like, I don't really have an answer for the calls. He doesn't. I mean, no one does. No one
no,
understands why the
no,
calls were so. The rest seemed like they were out there to just make like they were making things up at a point. It almost seemed like they wanted to just call stuff that wasn't there.
And I don't believe the NFL is fully, I mean, is scripted at all. But if you believe that controversy, this game helps prove it. Like almost, it's
I
like
think that there's something going on behind the scenes there that it just feels like people want the Rams to be in it so bad, media wise.
and
Fan
the
base
Rams.
wise, no one's on the Rams side at all, man. They are so cocky. They are so
Well, I
cocky in
mean,
their abilities.
we say cocky, but I mean, there's not even that many Rams fans. I'm sorry, Rams fans, if you're listening to this. I apologize. I mean, y'all have a good ass team. I do like
Yeah, the
McVay,
team is good as hell.
and I love Aaron Donald. It's just
You getting the they're the
let's just
Yankees.
let's just
They're
let's
they're
just
the
be
Yankees of football,
bloody
man. No
honest.
one's respecting it.
Yeah, let's just be honest. In California, I mean, Tyler, you're from California. When
Yeah.
you go to SoFi and you're playing the Niners are going to roll that stadium. That's a home game for San Francisco. I mean, the Raiders, man, there's so many Raiders in California. If they go to SoFi, it's a Raider home game. I mean, it just, I don't know. And for LA to come out and be like, hey, we're going to restrict these ticket sales.
And
Oh,
I
by
think
the
that's what pissed off a lot of fan bases, multiple fan bases. Was like,
yeah,
how are you gonna sit here and try to be? It just you
they're
wrote
scared. They're
I'm
scared
scared
because
across my forehead.
yeah, because Sean McVay versus the Niners, I think his record is 2-7 or 3-7. Either
0 and
way, their
6.
last six visits.
He's 0 and 6.
Well, in his whole career,
His
he's
whole
like
career, he's 0 and 6.
no, he's 2-7. He's two and
He
seven
hasn't won any. He's 0 and 6 in the last 2 years.
in the last 2 years. Yeah, so like the last six visits that the Niners had with the Rams, either away or home, has been an L. Some of them have been a just god awful L for the Rams. So
Rams
I don't.
struggle with good defenses.
Yeah, and I don't believe for a second, and I've talked to a lot
Rams
of
got 30 points off of penalties. Half of those points came off of controversial penalties.
yep,
And people
and
need to realize that that game could have been easily 27-14.
oh yeah, and I mean Los Angeles almost turned into Atlanta for letting Tom Brady come
And
back. I mean,
if they do those amount of turnovers with the Niners,
it's
people
a
don't
loss.
want to. What I'm saying is like the media is not acknowledging it. A lot of people aren't acknowledging it, but LA had a lot of things going their way in the last couple of their games.
Yeah.
2 out of 3 went their way. Actually,
Well,
no,
the
2 out
first
of
two
3
quarters
in the
in this game went the Rams' way.
yeah.
The
And the
last
first half
two,
really just had people scratching their heads. They were like, this doesn't it's not satisfying anybody because everyone knows maybe per the rule book, yes, you can call this, you don't have to call it yada yada yada. But like when people are sitting here and they're just like off the top of your head, you don't even really need to know the rule to heart. But just looking at it in like just your personal view, you could tell some of these calls you just felt in your gut were like, that's not right.
yeah.
You're just
No,
looking at it live.
that
You're
was
like,
the
I don't know what they're about to
whole
call, but
game.
like something just didn't look right.
Yeah, that was the whole game, and maybe I'm just really curious. Tom Brady going in the press conference. Maybe this is like who knows what Tom Brady's going to do. This was his last year in Tampa Bay with his contract. So if he's going to sign up, I mean, I don't really believe that he's going to stick with Tampa. If he does,
They
I'll be surprised.
already hit Gronk with "Are you done?" And Gronk was like, "If I had to decide right now, I guess so."
Yeah.
And
And
he's like, we don't even know. Like, we literally just walked off the field. Like, you can't hit us with these questions right now because we don't even know who's going where, what's going on, who are we retaining,
yep.
what coaches. They base their decisions off is the coaching staff staying, and that keeps a lot of the players around if the coaching staff stays. Now, if the coaching
Well,
staff doesn't stay, which unfortunately the Bucks are going to lose, I believe, a couple of their coaches due to promotions, and
well, actually, the uh Byron Leftwich is
mhm.
going to Jacksonville.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like
So
official, like pen to paper or anything, but it's pretty obvious.
I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure it is. I saw it on I feel like Jacksonville posted it or
They had
ESPN posted
another,
it.
I think it was Leftwich, and I believe their coaching staff is recognized as really good. So
Yeah, so I mean,
it's not just gonna be him. So like a lot of the players can be like, "Yo, the Bucks little 2 year run is, I think, about it."
well, I mean, they're gonna go. I feel like they're gonna go into a rebuild stage. They brought all of their players back from um last year when they won the Super Bowl. So,
They knew
who are
they
they
had
all
the
gonna
team.
keep?
Still have the team, but it's a matter of
Yeah,
who, people. It's a business, so like once people start getting bigger checks from other organizations, they're gonna leave.
yeah, and plus the Buccaneers never really could stay healthy. They got injured and they got
Yeah,
sick at the
they were
worst
really banged
possible
up.
time.
They were really banged up going to that game. They were without Godwin. They lost Antonio
Yep.
Brown, not due to injury, but due to basically off field issues. Apparently, Bucks in this offseason, it was announced yesterday or this earlier today. Either way, in the last 24, 48 hours, Antonio Brown has been very vocal about he is taking the Bucks to court.
I did see that Antonio Brown possibly or he might actually be suing the Bucks.
He plans on
And
it. It's not started. The process hasn't started, but now it's officially the off season for them. The
yeah,
process
something
is
like
probably going to
defamation
pick
or
up.
something like that. So
So
um,
Antonio Brown plans on trying to get a settlement. Um, Basically, I guess he's trying to expose that organization for something shady. I guess was going
yeah,
on there. I don't really know. It didn't seem shady, in my opinion, but
it's just
we'll see
really
how it goes.
weird. I mean, there's just so many things, so many questions for the NFL, like dropping all charges against John Gruden to Antonio Brown, leaving controversy there. He said his ankle's hurt, but yet he's posting videos dancing. There's just so many things that's just kind of like a question mark right now. This
Yeah.
game was a question mark. LA, I mean, at the end of the
LA
day,
was so freaking odd to me. Is after being beat in the last 6 meetings, whether they on paper better team, but the other opposing team they're facing is beat y'all, dominated. I'm not saying like dominated, like just blew you out of the water, but there's major ownage there, and the
yeah,
Niners are still not the favorite. They're the favorite fan
yeah,
wise, but the people fucking making the calls are like, nah, they're gonna lose this game. I'm like, how can you
well,
sit here?
on paper, to be fair, the Rams have a better team all the way around. But
How many times are people gonna say that though, and they're still gonna lose? Not still gonna lose, but they've
and
lost.
this is another game to coming up that we're going to talk about is you're already considering the Niners are going to be the underdog. Why, when they've beaten the Rams 6 times, they have one of the best defenses. Matthew Stafford is not a scrambler. As soon as the pocket collapses, Matthew Stafford's going down. I mean, what do you expect? So,
Yeah,
same thing with Bengals and Chiefs. Everyone's already doubting the Bengals. Well, last visit, I mean, Bengals won. They held the Chiefs to 23 points. Like,
like I said, if you hold the Chiefs down, and I believe the Bengals actually have a better. It looking like now they have better defense than what Buffalo was so
Well, Buffalo has a better
superior.
secondary. Buffalo has a way better secondary.
But I
But
think
I
all
mean,
around defense, I think Cincy needs to get credit for that. They have an all around defense that is a lot better than what they are giving them credit for. Same,
yeah,
like in a way, the Niners and the Bengals are kind of riding the fact that no matter what they do, they could go all the way. No matter what they do, people are gonna be like, nah, they just slipped by. Like, how you gonna tell a team that's gonna possibly win it all that they're slipping by?
the Bengals have done a lot. The 49ers have done a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
49ers has
Now,
gone through Cowboys
I think
and
we've
Green Bay.
I think we've established basically, Rams Tampa was very disappointing. I mean, it was still exciting at the end. Don't get me wrong. The game was really exciting. Um, but
And
I
I just want everyone to
I
know
just
that's
don't
listening to
think
this, though,
I
is
don't think the way Brady went out, I don't think he's gonna walk away from the game. But he
no, he's
may.
44 years old and beat out every single QB and
But
all the stats
now
across
he
the
has
board.
to sit there and he has to present himself possibly to Tampa or another team saying, I'm 45 years old, but I'm not your typical 45-year-old quarterback.
And I don't think any organization is going to ever doubt Tom Brady. You're 44 years
But do
old
they
and you
want
beat out.
you? His 1 year contract compared to any 1 year contract in the NFL is a fucking shitload of money.
Now, I wouldn't say that. Tampa Bay only paid him 22 million for 2 years.
Who gives
So
who gives a QB that old that much money? No one.
yeah, but again, you're forgetting that 44 years old, he beat out every single quarterback in this league in stats.
Yeah, he literally had the best career. He had on paper, he had the best football season of his fucking career.
One of the best. One of the best. I mean, either way, though, the man can still play at a high level. That's what everyone needs to
But
understand.
he did mention, like it's not so much can I perform at a high level of does he want to put his body
Yeah, I
in
mean,
that
he just
situation, which I kind of understand that. At I'm not that old, but like, how many more times does he want to take an ass whooping? You know what I mean?
it's going to be an interesting off season to see what he does,
Because I'm here to
what
tell you, when he's all said and done, and a few, decade or two goes by, Brady's gonna be looking really, really crippled up.
I don't know, man. I feel like that man's like Mark Wahlberg. Just
I mean, just recently
looks
they
good
showed
when he stays bad.
Deion
Looks good when
Sanders.
he stays
Deion Sanders just got surgeries and shit. I mean, this is off topic completely, but like, man's currently recovering in a wheelchair. Like, and he's not even. He hasn't been. I mean, he's been removed from the game for a while, but like, you know what I mean. Like, as time goes on, like you played the for as long as he's played a physical sport like this, he does. I think he's now considering like, damn, like I know somewhere down
I
the
just don't
line
think he's gonna go out like this. There's no way he's
he's
gonna
not
go
gonna
out like
want
this.
to go. It's not so much will he go out like this, but he also teams are gonna take, like, how much are we willing to spend on a guy that's probably gonna give us 1 year?
I mean, but that 1 year though, look what Tampa did.
And
Tampa's signed him for 2 years. Took
Tom
him to a
at the
Super Bowl
same
first year.
Tom at the same time is like, it's hard to say whether or not he's gonna stay, because like he also has to be like, well, do I want to risk the fact if I go to another team, are they like, he knew playing this year Tampa was championship ready. Like, they knew they were going to get to that point. No matter who came, who left, they had people leave, they had injuries happen, they still made it super far. So he knew he was going to get in the postseason. Now, he has to weigh out. It hasn't been laid out yet because there's been no talks with agents and stuff like that. But we basically are just waiting to see, especially with Gronk, because of wherever Brady goes, Gronk is going. Gronk is only gonna
Yeah.
keep playing if Brady keeps playing. If Brady's done, Gronk is like, that's my guy. I don't want to play nobody else. I don't want to rebuild chemistry. He doesn't want to do like a full on, like, I'm on a new team. I gotta get to know the quarterback. I gotta get to know the coach. He wants to show up and be like, hey man, Brady's my guy. We're gonna figure this out. Like, just let me. Let us figure it out. But I don't think it's going to
Yeah,
be with Tampa. You got to remember, Tampa is more than likely going to lose Gronk and Brady.
that's tough, man. But uh, but yeah, hopefully this isn't the last time I see TB12. Other than that, I mean, this seeing TB12 and his career growing up has been awesome.
Yeah.
Um, Definitely a little sour for him not to go to the Super Bowl again. I know people might hate that comment, but the man has had an awesome career,
Hmm.
and I know some people are loving LA and loving, what they have on the
Hmm.
table, but at the same time, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with the Niners in LA. See if the Niners can beat them a seventh time. But you want to move on to Niners and Packers
Yeah.
or Bengals and Titans?
Yeah, we'll knock out these next two. So we'll do Niners Packers first. Niners
So
Packers.
real quick, before we even start this,
Okay.
so you're telling me Jimmy G
Hmm.
can just do a Conor McGregor strut into Lambeau Field
Hmm.
with zero tutties
Yeah, done it in
and,
the
and
past.
beat Rodgers?
He did even less 2 years ago when he beat Rodgers 2 years ago in the championship game.
I feel like there was at least a
He
touch.
threw the ball. He threw the ball more than he ever has against Green Bay, and he did
You
it in
know,
a 0-degree game. He threw the ball more than he ever has against Green Bay, and he actually so people don't give him credit, but he probably would have had 200 plus yards of passing if Kittle didn't drop his 40-yard reception that he was wide open on, and if Ayuk didn't drop his like 20, 25, 30-yard reception that he was wide open on. The weather played a huge factor in the passing game that no one really like wants to pay attention to
oh
for
yeah,
whatever
no
fucking
doubt.
reason.
I mean, you
The
got
dude needs
one.
to get more credit. The dude wins games. I don't give a fuck if he hands the ball off 55 times. The dude fucking wins the damn game.
I don't fuck is he's winning
Hey
me a
man,
game.
that's how some teams just operate, and that's how the Niners operate. They're just like, hey man, we're gonna
No, I
leave
just
you in. We're gonna leave you in because whether we have to depend on you or not, we win games with you. So
you
you're
know,
good to
I
go.
just feel like when anyone hands like when Jimmy G hands the ball off and like they score and like I just see him over there just screaming. Like I just that's Niner fever right there. That's Niner fever. Like the man has zero touchdowns, two interceptions, and
The
going
dude is
into
hungry though. The thing
the
is
dude is
he
going
he
into the
wants it.
NFC
He
Championship
communicates.
game.
He's a likable. The thing is I think it's more of a chemistry thing. Is he connects well with who he's playing with.
I mean, no doubt he does. I
They
mean, we
understand his
saw it,
abilities, but he understands the people around him and their abilities and what
but it's like
they know what works. And that's the good thing about having a QB is if you have a QB that knows what works and he's not forcing anything. And I believe that like they were knocking Jimmy before Tannehill did what he did, but
okay,
Jimmy
yeah.
knows what he can handle. He doesn't force things like what Tannehill was doing, and you don't force things in the postseason because then that's how you end up
Well,
losing.
Jimmy G did force a few, but it was so damn cold
It
that
was so
the
cold.
really,
Do you think it's not going to happen like that in LA?
yeah, I mean, but it's just going back to the cold weather, like Rogers being in it all the time, these guys being in it. He literally,
Rodgers literally said he's like that defense came
well,
out
I mean,
and held him down.
Rogers
He
and then
literally gave
literally
credit
only
to the
two
fact.
receivers, Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams, were literally his only two guys. You know,
It's always been like that
Jimmy.
though.
I mean, yeah, but still, I mean, there's
Actually,
spreading of the
I
love.
take
You
that
know,
back.
like there's
They are without Tanyan. You got to
yeah.
think
So
If Green Bay had their number one tight end out there, this game might have looked different. But
well, I mean, either way though, Jimmy and Kyle, San Francisco. I mean, Debo Samuel's such a fucking weapon, man. And then you got Kittle to throw in the mix. Then you got Elijah Mitchell to throw in the mix, and then you got this guy named Ayuk that's just like, hey bud, I'm down the middle, 30 yards out, throw it, what up? And then Jimmy's
Yeah,
like, "Say,
Jimmy has guys that produce when the ball is put in their hands.
no, yeah,
They've
like
always
Jimmy,
they've always been a yard after catch. They've always been yards after contact. So
yeah,
like,
the
and
49ers
you
to
could
me, they're
only
just bruisers, man. They're bruisers. They will fight for the extra yards. If they get hurt, they get hurt. The Niners have always been like that. Now,
yeah.
to go into Lambeau Field, man, and that special teams to do what they did,
It was the best possible
absolutely,
situation for them to out physical a team in their home field.
yeah, to block a damn field goal in Lambeau to
Oh,
then they block the
they were
punt.
it was an
They
all
block the
around effort, man.
yeah. The
That game
special teams
relied
was
on
just
special teams making plays.
yeah. That I mean, the special teams won that game, no doubt. Like,
Yeah.
and then Robbie Gould just going out, just get his gold,
Bro,
come
I
out.
didn't know this. And he's a little savage. He's a fucking
What?
ballsy he apparently it doesn't really go notice because he's a kicker, but I guess he will warm up in the middle of every team that he plays into their he'll warm up in the middle of their intro.
Oh, you talking about whenever he's kicking over the Green Bay
And
open?
he did it against Dallas. Their cheerleaders were doing a performance in the middle of the field, and he was doing warm up kicks over the top of
I mean,
them.
hey,
I was
if
just
that's
like,
his
bro,
pregame,
he's a little fucking asshole. I'm like, damn.
but I did see the videos that like Niners should have known they weren't gonna get the ball, they weren't gonna kick it. I mean, or no, not kick it. They not Green Bay should have known that the Niners had that kick in the bag when they saw Robbie just booting it right over them. But the Niners and Packers, it was a tough game. I know a couple Packer fans, and I was actually texting one during the game, and I texted him. I was like, "Hey man, like Niners, Niners," and he was like, "Nah, bro, nah, Lambeau, Lambeau Field," and I'm like, "Oh
Bro,
shit."
every Green Bay fan that hit me up was like, y'all don't. Jimmy hasn't played in that cold of weather. Jimmy hasn't done this. Jimmy
Jimmy
hasn't
played
done
a
that.
part, bro. There's
They
no,
kept putting the outcome of the game before the game even started on Jimmy. I was like, I really don't think this game's gonna come down to Jimmy.
what's so funny is that there's so many. I'm guilty of it too. That talk so much shit on the Niners, and then you just get your heart taken away from you.
Fuck y'all, they
Like,
keep winning.
yeah, like the Niners just come out. I got Niner fever, and then just fucking bitch. This is mine. And like as a Cowboys fan, that was tough. That was tough to watch. That was tough. I turned my TV off a couple times, and uh, I'm sure
Yeah.
the Packers fan did the same because that special teams at Green Bay. First off, fire the special teams coach. Done. That's an easy.
The
That's easy.
kicker, I'm sorry, Max Crosby, I think his career is done.
I love Crosby
His
though.
dude had the most missed field goals, I think, in his career this season.
Just watch Adam Vinatieri gonna come out of retirement
Remember that
and be like,
game, Green Bay? I think it was against the Rams. Crosby missed 5 field goals in one game this season. I remember watching it. It was like a Sunday night game. Like Crosby had a
I can't
really
remember.
bad
I
season.
know. I know he's been on a decline for sure, but he's been with Green Bay forever.
Oh, like
And
he's just one of
it's
those guys that kind
crazy.
of aged. He just aged out. He doesn't, there's just some guys they kind of fade out because like they're not going to be able to produce like they did when they first came.
Yeah, and it's so crazy to think that what we have one, two. I mean, technically Kansas City and Buffalo three, and then the fourth game was that decided by a field goal?
They were all so Tennessee's game was San Francisco's game was I believe LA's was actually yeah. Besides
Yeah.
KC ending it with their OT touchdown, yeah, they
Well, I
were
mean,
all
technically that
tied.
was a field goal. Technically, they
Yeah,
got it to the field
yeah, they had to
to
kick the
the
field goal
field
to get
goal
to that
to go
point.
into overtime.
Yeah, yeah. So like
So
all the games are coming down to who's whose
who has the
coaching
last
staff
possession?
whose
Yeah, who
coaching
has the last
staff can
possession?
put together a 4 4-play drive. Two
Yeah.
to 4-play drive and be like, we're in field goal range. Not very many teams are able to do it. The Niners did it. They showed it. The
Bengals did it.
Rams did it. The Bengals did it in like 2 plays.
Yeah, he kicked a 54-yard field goal.
Yeah, that kicker.
Did
If the game comes down to a kick for Cincinnati in their next game, KC might as well just have their bags packed.
Bro, I don't know if we're done talking
That
about Niners
dude,
and Packers, but Evan McPherson, the kicker for the Bengals, literally told, yo, you're on the 40? Hey guys, just go ahead and start celebrating. We're making this kick. We're on this AFC championship. For Evan to say that, the cojones that he has to be like, say less.
bro. So
54? Got it.
I watched a video of his trick shot kick where he kicks it to like the second deck. He has a Gatorade bottle with the cap on, and he's on the 20-yard line, by the way, kicking it into the second deck, behind the end zone, and he perfectly skims the cap to spin the cap off from like it probably would have been like a 60-yard with the amount of air he had to put up under it, the amount of
Yeah.
how high up he had to kick it. The
Dude,
dude
he is,
moved 60-yarders with ease.
bro, AFC North. I mean, I know maybe this isn't like a crazy stat that anyone wants to hear, but the AFC North has the best kickers in the fucking league. Like,
Yeah,
no
and
doubt.
so Robbie Gould right now is the best kicker in the postseason. I mean,
I don't know,
McPherson
man.
just got. He hasn't missed a single
Okay.
postseason kick in his whole career.
I know, but
Now,
Evan,
besides Cincy's kicker, because obviously everyone's put on notice, like, oh shit, Cincy's offense moves way too quick, controls the ball.
the thing is, though, they'll get the 3 points. Cincinnati will get the 3 fucking points. But I did hear
Special
Evan.
teams is a big deal in the postseason. If you have a kicker
Yeah,
that's iffy, your season might just end off of a kick.
yeah, and I did hear
And
Evan
during the regular
McPherson
season, you
say,
could possibly recover with that because you got a lot of games to like, hey, we might win some just due to the fact that we're the better team. But if the game comes down to a kick, we're looking really iffy. And
yeah,
Cincy won a lot of their games by a kick, a lot.
100%. And that's where I was kind of going towards. Evan McPherson said, I can't remember where he said it, but he said he wants to beat Adam Vinatieri's record for the most postseason field goals, which is 14. He's at 8. He's at 8 right now. So I mean,
If your team is having to kick field goals a lot, that's not necessarily a record you want.
yeah, but either way, though, here's the thing.
Yeah, it's a hell of a record if you're going to break a record. But I mean, if you're
Adam
for the kicker, incentive wise, and probably like leverage on asking for a bigger contract, that would totally get him. They'd be like, "Hey man,
well, here's the thing. He's a rookie. He's a rookie.
I broke the old man's record. Give it to me."
But he's a rookie.
Yeah, if he does his rookie year, I don't know. He's got this game in the net and possibly a Super Bowl to break it. That's a lot of fucking field goals to kick.
No doubt. So we kind of went to Cincinnati and kind of just disregarded
we hit the SF game on freaking head. Like
Green Bay. There's nothing to say about Green Bay. You score 10 points at home in Lambeau, and you don't show up the rest of the game.
And then your coach comes out and says, "I didn't prepare them enough." You didn't prepare them for a home game. You had to prepare.
Everybody said it's San Francisco. Fucking, let me go ahead and just start printing out these NFC Championship shirts because everyone's already doubting. I mean, when we talked about the Niners and the Packers last episode, the matchup predictor was like fucking over 30% that the Green Bay was going to win. The Niners
this time it's like 20% of them is out of their, like, they're giving it to the Rams like almost all the way with almost a 4-point spread. And I'm like, They were literally neck and neck in the last game.
I mean, I think if this postseason taught us anything is, I mean, hell, everyone thought Tennessee was going to ball out. Everyone thought um, Cincinnati wasn't going to do what they did and win both
Yeah.
games. Everyone thought the Niners wouldn't get past the Cowboys. Look what the fuck happened. Okay, and I'm hurt for it. All right, I'm hurting. Heart's hurting. Now I'm looking forward to baseball and hockey. Uh, so, uh, but other than that, man, the Niners are a threat, and for Rodgers to possibly be his last season in Green Bay, I hear that he is still going to talk to Green Bay. But the thing is, though, Mike Tomlin, he's like, hey, bud, hey, Pittsburgh, hey, I mean, there's
Ah, man, that would really fucking hurt.
it would, but
That would put Pittsburgh right in the fucking talks of being ready.
it puts Pittsburgh. I mean, like,
Because
and then Joe Burrow's gonna
Aaron
be like,
has a
fuck,
way
I
of
gotta
like
face it.
wherever Aaron goes, whether it's with Green Bay, he is going to be like, I call the shots because this is it.
And you know what? I'm gonna tell you this: if the Niners lose,
Mm-hmm.
I know we're gonna talk about it again, but if the Niners lose, Rodgers goes to Niners, calling it.
So
He's always wanted to play for San Fran.
they said
Tico
this
boy.
last year and it didn't happen, but it all
Well,
depends on what the Niners want to do with Jimmy, if they want to give him one more or not.
yeah, but I know you would buy that jersey instantly. You're like,
A
let me get
Rodgers
this
jersey? I
12.
don't know.
Let me get this 12. Let me get Rodgers, San Fran. You know you
Listen,
would.
that one I don't really see happening, just because
I,
San Fran's
I
looking for a
don't.
long-term answer.
Yeah, but San Francisco,
I mean,
that's why I say
they would.
if they
Yeah,
lose
then
in
they're
the
gonna
NFC Championship,
explore that. Yeah.
now if they make it to the Super Bowl, I'm pretty sure they're going to keep Jimmy for and then just mold Trey Lance. I'm pretty sure, but we're kind of talking about the future. That's going to be for the next episode, people.
But yeah,
But um,
Cincy, Tennessee. I mean, we've kind of been just talking about it this whole time, but
yeah, the nail in the coffin for Tennessee is Ryan Tannehill. It's kind of a
Tannehill,
no-brainer.
he's gone.
We've kind of been talking bits and pieces of Cincinnati this whole entire episode.
Tennessee has
Um,
been losing out of the postseason every year because of Tannehill.
yeah,
I mean, coaching decision wise, coaches are facing possible firings for some of the play calls they made.
and not the head coach. Mike Vrabel
Not
has.
Vrabel, but the offensive coordinator is definitely facing some fucking major criticism right now.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, when you don't have your number one offensive player, Derrick Henry, getting 3 yards average, like normally with 20 carries, like you
Clearly,
got
no one wants to admit it, but he was not ready.
no.
He
I
was
mean,
not ready.
that's tough to get back into that, and then in a postseason football where everyone's playing at that next level, 110%.
You could
You
just
know,
tell
Derrick Henry.
he came out way too much. You knew something was bothering him. It's probably going to come out during this offseason. Derrick Henry's fucking foot is fucked, and he's going to have to do a full offseason recovery to bounce
Well,
back from it.
Tennessee's good though. They got Dante Foreman. That he actually super surprised me. I mean, this
Now,
whole
does Foreman stay with the team based off the fact that so many teams are like, yo, a lot of teams are running back needy right now. They need a run game. And like that dude showed out and was like, he's gonna get signed by somebody. That team is getting dismantled. It's happening.
yeah, I feel bad. You know, I'm a huge Julio fan. I'm a huge AJ Brown fan. Um, I just feel like they're missing that one piece, man. And
Yeah,
everybody
they're
knows what
one piece. It is
that is.
fucking the quarterback.
Yeah,
Their
and
quarterback is the reason why they don't go
you're
far. Their team is excellent. Their defense is top
you're
tier. Their offense is top tier. Their quarterback is not.
yeah, you're missing that one piece, man. Just I don't know. It's tough to say. I mean, I
And
wish
they were trying
Tennessee
to
would have
say
made it.
They were trying to say Tannehill's better than Jimmy, and I'm like, well, Jimmy's still in it, so is he? Is he better than Jimmy?
No, it just fucking blows my mind. We got a Jimmy G, zero tutties with 2 interceptions in the league right now. But either way, he's one thing that I will say about Jimmy is he is so, I'm not gonna say unpredictable, but he is clutch. That
He
third and
puts
long.
together. He knows what he can handle. He doesn't do
Um,
anything spectacular, but he knows that
you
he what
know,
he has around him.
I just feel like, first down, miss. Second, okay, we just still don't got the first down. Okay. Third down, I feel like Jimmy G's just kind of, let's fucking go. Like,
He has that winning
where you at,
mentality.
IU? Where you at, Debo? Oh, Debo, you wanna do that thing?
I think what people noticed because he started looking in his direction a lot more. Well, they started using him a lot more because they knew they were going to need him in a game like that. But Kittle on third downs, really hard to
Yeah,
not
man.
to sit there and be like, we got to cover Debo, we got to cover Kittle because Kittle could catch the fuck out of a ball, and he did. He had a crazy ass catch in that game.
Yeah, and just going back to the game that we were talking about, Tennessee, man, they had the momentum. They had everything going for them. They had the hype. It was in Tennessee. Derrick
Who
Henry,
is
man, the
who is
guy.
Tennessee missing? Who? Oh, what the fuck is his name?
I can't remember who, but no one on the offense. I mean, they had everybody on the offense. They had
They
Damian
haven't.
Lillard,
I
A.J.
think they
Brown,
did.
Julio
Who am I
Jones.
thinking that's missing right now?
I mean, you maybe thought of David Long. He's a linebacker, and he got
Oh,
hurt
this is a
in the
receiver
quarter.
that tore his ACL. What the fuck is his name? Oh, I'm thinking of Tampa. I'm thinking
Oh,
of the
that's
wrong dude.
Godwin, man. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Godwin.
Godwin. I don't know why, but I'm getting my people mixed up.
But either way, man, I feel like we covered pretty much everything.
Yeah.
This divisional round, what it what I learned from it is that expect the unexpected in every single fucking play. Whether it's
Yeah.
on special teams, whether it's a normal ass punt, whether
Hmm.
it's just a 3rd and 20 that I mean, hey, at the end of the day, 3rd and 20, you got Debo fucking Samuel on the other side of the ball right now. So
Oh.
those 20 yards seem like a lot, but I mean,
Even if
at
you
the end of
don't
the
get the
day,
20, you're gonna. The Niners showed. I think they did go for it on fourth on one of the occasions, but even though
but either way,
they're
it's
just
playoff
like I
football,
think
man.
it's crazy. They could be 4th and 5, and they're actually considering like we actually can probably get those 5 yards.
Oh, and also, just kind of before we fully wrap this up with Tennessee, um, Tennessee had 9 sacks in that game. Tennessee deserved to lose if they lost like that. Sorry to say, Tennessee fans, but at the end of the day, man, when you get to Joe
Your
Burrow,
quarterback has had got to take advantage of the fact that the
yeah,
defense is showing
when
up.
when Joe Burrow is literally falling the fuck down every single down 9 times,
And still manages to beat you.
that's tough. That's a tough pill to swallow.
And I
Bengals
think
need to
that's
fix
why
that a
people are
lot.
like, yo, don't count Cincy out because they're like, Joe Burrow they're gonna come out super hungry now.
Yeah, and I mean, if anything for Cincy that took away from that game, if I'm the head coach, hey, listen here, offensive line, what the fuck do you need? Because you cover that man, okay? Like, I'll buy you cigars, okay? Well, let's all smoke. Um,
Yeah.
but
I'm rooting for
yeah,
Cincy. I want to
I am
say
too. Hashtag who day. Uh, but other than that, I think Tyler already said it at the beginning of this episode. Apologize for the technical difficulties. We had an awesome episode Monday that we were going to release and did not happen. Still pumping out an episode for everyone. Um,
yeah, I mean, it's not out there yet, but hopefully, you know, I don't foresee any technical issues this time. Um,
no,
obviously, it'll be out. I mean, no one's listening to us live, but it's gonna be out.
it's okay,
I'm
man.
pretty
You're
determined.
here with us. Good. So, but don't forget to subscribe. I mean, if we do these
Yep.
videos as well, and we push it on Spotify and Apple. But got a
I see the
YouTube.
people. I see the people trickling in. We're getting one here and there. We're not. What we're not getting, and it would be. I feel like it would entertain people a lot more. Is start commenting or
Yeah,
bring
send us
or bring up
messages.
to give us some ideas because we'll toss it in here in the near future. Me and Eddie do plan on um both upgrading the setup for this
Yep.
um for audio purposes and I mean it's not so much that we don't have it, it's the way that we have to record right now is the way the audio has to be until we get it set up on a PC type of situation. But right now we're just kind of we're working with what we got at the moment. We are
Yep.
getting to a point where eventually we don't have a timeline for this, but um, eventually when time and everything comes together, we will have a very good quality setup to where it will not be this anymore. This it might still be set up to a point where we have to do it in a separate area, but as long as we can, we plan on making this a professional quality podcast.
Yeah, and just piggybacking off of Tyler, and we're just missing those few key components to make this better. So we appreciate nonetheless you guys listening in. Definitely send us messages. We have a Facebook. Let's argue. Comment on. I mean, maybe we make a post and everyone comments on that. Pretty much everybody has
We do have we got the Instagram, we got the Twitter, we got the Facebook. Facebook, it's kind of it may I know it's not like everyone's first choice, but it does give me the ability and Eddie the ability to really push out a lot of info wise. Because Twitter, you're kind of restricted on the amount of info you can put in.
Yep.
Instagram, you're really restricted. You can't really put any video up if it's over an hour. They restrict it. They have this thing where like if it's got to be 30 like under 59 minutes, I believe. It's super annoying because it would be another platform to get it out there. But Instagram's good for just I guess when we do like maybe snapshots of stuff, but we haven't got to that level.
Other than that, though, we're pretty much on all social media. So
Yep.
follow, like, subscribe wherever you can. Um, but definitely, maybe we make a post in the future. You guys ask us questions or Instagram DM or Twitter. You can, I mean, ask us questions there.
And
That way
as
we can talk
always,
about it.
we're bringing in a guest on Friday, pending any like last minute, emergencies or anything like that. Friday is our next episode. It's not too far away from today. It's about to
Nope.
be Thursday already, but yeah. If you want to hop on to the show, we're really open to that. We're not like we're not closing off any of the whole concept of this is to bounce off of other people and speak opinions. This isn't a fact based show every time. We do look at the facts
Yeah.
and we express everything. We're not gonna sit here and give you a blow by blow of like statistics here. It's
Yeah, and we
not our
want to
idea,
learn
but
sports.
be
Yeah.
very dry.
Yep. And definitely if anybody does take interest, definitely shoot us a message and maybe we can work something out. But other than that, guys, we really appreciate everything. So
Mm-hmm.
uh, stay tuned. Next episode dropping very, very soon um, for our predictions for the championship games.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Definitely, I mean, send us messages on what your predictions are. Maybe we can bounce off of that. I mean, other than that, you're always welcome. So
Yep. All right, guys. that wraps up this episode. Um, I suggest catching up if you haven't listened to any of our postseason talks. Um,
Oh yeah.
but after this championship game, we're probably gonna have we're really working on networking some guests. Um, hopefully we can get some major guests on for the Super Bowl predictions, and I think with the Super Bowl coming up, we're gonna have a couple episodes just to talk about teams, and there's gonna be some transactions coming up. We're gonna talk about the MLB here coming up shortly once the off season for the NFL kicks off. It's gonna be a lot of transactions talk. MLB's been locked down, so we're gonna be talking about transactions in the MLB once they open back up, which is here coming shortly based on the news that I've been seeing. Other than that, stay tuned for Friday, and thank you for listening.
One love.
Later.
Later.